A lot of people seem to not like this song, and here I am, the SM auntie, loving it. Am I better than everyone? But also, is SM trying to get me to join a cult because something's a little fishy here? Hi, welcome. My name is Angelina, and today we're here to talk about Aespa's comeback with Savage. From my thoughts on the song, to maybe some theories, to even some accusations of plagiarism, and everything in between. So if you're interested in this type of video, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have before I fall off the face of the earth. But before we get into anything, I did want to address the plagiarism accusations because I think it's a really interesting conversation to have. And SM Entertainment as a whole, particularly with Aespa, can't seem to escape these types of accusations. From their debut until now, it seems to be one after the other. And SM has addressed some of them, even going as far as working with one of the artists that had brought up a similarity within their work. And we've discussed all of that before, but we haven't discussed the newer accusations. So from what I can see, it seems that the headpieces within these teaser videos have some similarities to these headpieces. And then of course, this teaser photo looks very similar to this photo. Now, as always, if an artist comes forward and says, hey, my work has been plagiarized, I think that is totally valid. Obviously, the artist recognizes something that is similar to their own work. However, if it's just fans saying, hey, these two works of art are quite similar, then I think it's a little bit different. So I feel more comfortable expressing how I personally feel towards these situations. Because as far as I'm concerned, none of the artists have come out and said like, hey, this is plagiarism. So let's start with the headpieces, which seem to be in line with this trend of virtual fashion. I recently saw a video by Sophia Nygaard where she tried on virtual clothing for a week. And it's actually something I've seen quite a lot on TikTok. And the first time I heard of it, I was like, why would you spend money on like something that's not real? It's kind of like along the lines of NFTs where it's not quite tangible. Like, this is not something that you're actually going to have in your possession, if that makes sense. It's just something virtual. It's something that you're not actually wearing. But I guess the premise of virtual clothing is that it creates less waste, and you can kind of go outside of the realms of what is, physically possible, as we can see within these teaser videos. It's not quite possible to have a headpiece like that would just magically animate itself onto your face. So all in all, this whole thing of being able to wear something post-production, because Aespa obviously are not wearing these headpieces, they were edited on after the fact. I do think that's pretty cool. And I would definitely say this is quite a new concept, and definitely not super common either. But of course, there are other instances of similar things being done before, right? All that to say though, yes, in some aspects, I do think the headpieces look similar to an extent, right? And if you asked me, maybe, yeah, they are inspired, but are they, exact replicas? Absolutely not. Are they exact copies? Maybe we could talk about that a little more. Because when I look at these two pictures side by side, I feel like the concepts are different enough. They aren't the exact same colors, they aren't the exact same shapes, they aren't even the exact same concepts. Because when I looked into this designer, it seems that these headpieces are real. So we don't have that specific concept of virtual fashion. We don't have even the specific concept of the headpieces, animating themselves onto the face. So just from surface level research into this, I wonder, can't these works of art coincide as they are without being necessarily plagiarized? Because I've seen this happen a lot within songs recently, where a song is kind of similar to another song, and then suddenly, bam, you see new people appear on credits where they weren't before. And I've seen a lot of other artists, a lot of people who are really into music bring up the question of, how ethical is this? Is anything really original anymore? How far is too far when calling out something that is similar to the point where, everyone is kind of, shall we say, copyright claiming other people's work? And does that set a bad precedent? So definitely let me know what you think of that in the comments down below. As for these two pictures in particular, given SM Entertainment with Aespa's management in particular, I do know they tend to take inspiration a little bit too far sometimes. So it wouldn't surprise me that they had seen this picture before, but who knows? Elements are a lot more similar than, say, these two headpieces. So again, would you consider this inspiration? Would you consider it plagiarism? Let me know in the comments down below. But on that note of virtual fashion, I did want to talk about it a little bit because once I saw those teasers, I had this kind of prediction that we would see virtual fashion in the music video. So I kept my eyes peeled throughout. Like, obviously there are eye versions of the members literally only wear virtual fashion. But I did want to point out instances where I think the members themselves are wearing virtual accessories. I will say it's a little bit hard to pinpoint whether or not these are real accessories or fake accessories, because if they're not real, then they're edited so well they look very real to me. But there's something uncanny about them that make me think maybe they're edited to an extent. Maybe they're actually on the members, but they added, there's something uncanny. So let me know what you think. For example, the first instance I could point out was Karina's nail accessory. It seems to be floating on her finger, right? It could very well be real, but there's this element that looks a little bit fake. It looks like it could be a virtual accessory. And of course, the other members also have similar nail accessories. Or we also have these hand accessories that kind of match their logo for Savage, which also match with the accessories on their boots. So again, it could be real, but there's also this like uncanny feeling about it where it looks a little bit virtual, it looks a little bit fake. So with how good their editing team is, it wouldn't surprise me if they put like a lot of effort into making it look real. I'd be very curious to see like a behind the scenes to see whether or not those things are actually on them. Because, you know, we also have things like Karina's bionic arm. Obviously there's animated elements, right? But at the base of it all, is it even real? It looks like it's actually on her, but could it be fake as well? And then lastly, Giselle's glasses. So that's a list of accessories that I thought could potentially be virtual. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you spotted any others. You know, otherwise I was really expecting to see like more obviously animated elements within their styling, and I thought that could be really cool. Like again, with the headpieces, I would have loved to see something like that, like a little bit more prominent within the music video, but otherwise, I don't have anything bad to say about the music video. What stands out to me about Aespa, like, is their animations mixed in with the music video, is that like unreal feeling. I find it super refreshing and cool, and they have not disappointed me, like aesthetically at least anyways, within their music videos. Now, I was really excited to talk about theories because with Next Level, we had a whole video explaining, clarifying certain things, giving some backstory. So I really thought this music video would give us more to work with, because as much as I love reviewing songs, it gets a little bit repetitive. Like, oh, you know, there's a chorus, and oh, the pre-chorus, it's catchy probably. You've probably heard me say it's probably gonna grow on me like a million times already. My brain is getting tired. I should probably read a book or something. I got into a lot of trouble during my ATEEZ review for saying that there wasn't much of a storyline, but I'm gonna say it again. Not much of a storyline doesn't mean there's no storyline. It means there's not much of a storyline. So I just needed to clarify that, because not much happened in the music video. But I wouldn't go as far as calling it a glorified dance practice. Loved the choreography, by the way, super quirky, super fun. But we did have a considerable amount of face shots rather than storyline, and that's okay, but I will point out what I did notice, what I did see. So of course we did see a lot of the snake from Black Mamba, which ties into Karina's phone again being compromised, but we also saw that in Black Mamba as well, so that wasn't really pushing forward the storyline in my opinion. Winter is still shooting stuff, Ning Ning is still on her computer wreaking havoc, who knows. The one thing that I think maybe happened is perhaps they reached Cosmo finally, because from the beginning we're introduced to Kwangya. But of course, in Next Level, we're introduced to Cosmo. So when they go to the Pink universe where they meet Navis, maybe that's actually a Cosmo. But who knows, maybe they will elaborate that in the next music video. But other than that, I really don't have anything to like further the theories that I did for Next Level. You can go check that out if you want to. Let's talk about Savage for a minute. So the song, of course, opens up with Winter, but Karina's opening in particular really reminded me of an NCT song. And I've actually praised Aespa in the past for being a group under SM Entertainment without necessarily adopting all of these SM Entertainment aspects to their songs. Yeah, there's no doubt that almost every SM song has specific elements where you're like, okay, from a mile away, I can smell that comes from SM Entertainment. But to me, Black Mamba was so different because yes, it's an SM song, but you know, could I picture NCT singing it? Could I picture EXO singing it? Could I picture Red Velvet singing it? Absolutely not. As for Savage, I feel like there is that Aespa flavor to it, but I do feel like it's a little bit interchangeable. I could picture, you know, maybe NCT, EXO singing it. You know, it has a very distinct vocal editing. And then of course the seemingly off-putting nature of some of the beats, which is really popular in 4th Gen SM. So yes, from a mile away, I can smell this is an SM song, but in that same breath, it does feel like Aespa, but I don't know, I'm a little bit conflicted because I do in that same breath also feels like a little interchangeable. So that's how I feel in terms of the company sound this time. The one major critique that I do have for Aespa, and this kind of applies to a lot of their songs, at least their title tracks thus far, excluding Forever, because otherwise I really do like the song. I really don't mind at all the kind of minimalistic instrumentals that we see throughout. I'm in love with the vocals, even with the editing, especially Ning Ning's voice. But the one major critique I would say is how niche the lyrics are. Like, Navis, we love you. What? I don't give a fuck about Navis. I'm sorry, but like it feels too specific sometimes, to the point where it's a little bit off-putting to some people. As much as I would love to live in Kwangya and it looks like a very beautiful place, it does feel a little bit odd to constantly sing about it. On top of that, for this song in particular, the bridge sounds like a religious praise. A religious praise to Navis. These are like the lyrics that I'm seeing. The sacrifices you made to protect me. Let's meet surely after the resurrection. I didn't make this up. These are the official lyrics that SM posted to the video. That's kind of where I'm like, okay, what am I listening to? Am I trying, like, is SM actually trying to make me join a cult? But then on the other hand, I understand how it being so niche can make people feel exclusive, because then you feel like you're part of their world, something that really no other groups can talk or sing about. I mean, at this point, all SM groups are singing about fucking Kwangya, but you get what I mean. You feel part of something, and I understand it. Otherwise, I do think it's a really catchy song, beautiful vocals, and I really like it. I love the this part in particular. Don't fucking copyright claim me. I did want to point out that one of Giselle's lines did sound like it was going to continue on into ITZY's Mafia in the Morning. The whole "you are gonna love me" part. So I'm gonna put those side by side. And now I'm in jail. But with that, I guess it makes the most sense in the world, because we're kind of coming full circle. I don't know if it was my own critique or critiques that I heard from other people, but if I'm not mistaken, Mafia in the Morning definitely felt like an SM song at its core. Again, that off-putting minimalistic beat throughout the entirety of the song that doesn't really change all that much. So I guess it would make sense that they're on the same wavelength at the end of the day. As for the other songs on the album, I didn't hate them except for Einergy. Again, kind of similar critique where it's like, okay, we're talking about Navis, we're talking about Cosmo, we're talking about like these very specific things where like I don't personally relate to an AI world, and it's not necessarily a deal breaker for me. I will still jam out to Black Mamba, I'll still jam out to Next Level, and I definitely will jam out to the song. But Einergy just takes it a little too far for me. Personally, I've never really gotten into SM B-sides kind of ever. So for me, it felt like a nice experience. I did really like the songs. My friend who is a fan of NCT Red Velvet and so on said it sounded like, you know, what you would expect from SM B-sides. But yeah, that is basically it for this video. Thank you so much if you made it this far. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this video with friends you don't have. You can also join my channel members by clicking the join button next to the subscribe button. These are the lovely individuals who help support my channel on a monthly basis. It honestly means the world to me. Don't forget to leave down in the comments below what you thought about the song, what you thought about the music video. And if you made it this far without skipping, leave the snake emoji within your comment. As for me, I'm gonna get going, but I'll see you guys next time. Bye!